Pretty up besides us. I've been getting a lot of heat to take that down, but we've been pretty busy actually. I've got a laptop here, so I'll have to turn around and look at what's behind me here, and Dennis is going to try to read my mind and keep up with me as I go through the slides. So if we get a little out of sync, apologize. But we're going to try to do this as quickly and professionally as we can. Again, on behalf of the committee, which on the next slide you'll see who that is. I think we got
Distracted.
you guys ready back there?
Next slide.
Can you click on this guy right here, and then that'll take away all these? This?
Right here.
Right here. Right here. Thank you.
And then back one.
Back one. Just arrow back. That'll get you there quick.
Forward page.
Get to the listing of the vetting committee, please. There you go, thank you. As Pat said, my name is John Wertz. I was selected the chair of this committee. Other members of the committee are James Byers. James, if you raise your hand, a little higher. And Brian Crumby, Dale Fessenden, Larry Rogers is in the very back. Pat Tibbs is on the committee. Dennis Tibbs is running the projector. And Ken Vaughn is right in the middle back here. Okay. Our vetting process, basically, next slide, is to send all primary candidates a questionnaire. And again, we want to thank all the candidates for running. We know it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and it's expensive to do, no matter what level that you're at. It takes a commitment of that time and money. From the questionnaire, we offer an interview upon the completion of that questionnaire. And then typically we'll record the 1-hour interview that we have with the candidates. In addition to that, we conduct independent research, either on the campaign website, via web search, donations that are made, and donations that are received. Okay? The vetting process, basically, we had 22 out of 26 local candidates participate. The endorsement levels that we gave, basically, if you get an endorsement, it's by 75% or more of the vetting committee. If you're recommended, that means you were either endorsed or recommended by a simple majority of the vetting committee. The other options were no recommendation or not enough information. Okay. The vetting committee makes recommendations to voting membership, which is what we're doing tonight. Our recommendations are released if 60% or more of the voting membership approves. All right. Documentation. All our data is recorded on the web for each candidate. We are education first. We are out to educate the public. We have questionnaire answers, and they're put into a format that, if y'all were here at a prior meeting, we have the questions listed, and then we have columnar listings for each candidate that answer, or the answers to those questions, so that you can easily do a comparison. We're also providing interview videos and our research results, and that's going to be available at research.kvon.com. It's going to be updated tonight, Ken assures me, no later than midnight tonight, with all of our results that you're getting ready to see. The highlights of the research: one candidate was convicted of perjury and DWI. Several candidates were close to the Joe Corley prison scandal, and we explained the scandal and the candidate's involvement. One candidate made a financial donation to a Democrat. Several candidates have financially supported establishment candidates. Results: The following slides identify vetting committee recommendations, and that wasn't to Walter. That donation was not to Walter.
I turned it down.
Following slides identify the vetting committee recommendations. Who we recommend, what level of endorsement, the percent of vetting committees supporting endorse versus recommend, the pros for the selected candidate, the cons for recommended candidates, and any other special notes in the race. If you have questions, we can bring up additional details, just ask, please. Okay, here we go. In the first race, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1, the vetting committee proposes to recommend Wayne Mack. Our pros in that race for Wayne were that he has a firm grasp of the issues, he has a legal and law enforcement experience, and he's known and respected throughout the community, including law enforcement. Cons, he considers, and what we saw in the interview was that the Constitution is a living document. We can work on him on that. And he has a weaker stance on immigration than what we thought he probably ought to have. The two other candidates did not respond. Next race, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3. The vetting committee proposes to recommend Edie Collins. The pros are that she's experienced, knowledge of law, reputation of being fair and just. Cons, from our determination, was that she did not share Tea Party values. The other candidate did not have sufficient knowledge base. There was 63% to recommend and 37% to endorse. Next race. County Commissioner Precinct 2, the vetting committee proposed to recommend Rob Harmon. The pros, demonstrated conservative and selfless servant, wants to be proactive in the county planning, does not see the need for tax abatements currently. Cons, lack of experience for the position. County Commissioner Precinct 4, vetting committee proposes to endorse Bob Bagley. Pros are a history of political activity. He supports Tea Party values, law enforcement background, and a demonstrated knowledge of local and state government. 87% to endorse, 13% to recommend. Now, there are 8 committee members, so if you can do the math. If you have any questions, let me know. On the county judge, the vetting committee proposes to recommend Mark Bosman. Pros are that he is a whistleblower on the Joe Corley prison scandal, experienced in county government, relative conservative values. The cons, registered agent for Joe Corley prison, and no evidence he supports Tea Party values. Other, committee consensus that this was a, let me add, extremely difficult choice between Bosma and Mark Bosma and Doris Goldman. The way it sorts out is 50% were recommending Bosma, 1 endorsement, and 38% recommending Doris Goldman.
Can you speak up, John?
Yeah. Did you hear all, where did you, you can't hear it? Okay, sorry.
No, I got that.
Okay, Texas House District 15, vetting committee proposes to endorse Mark Keogh. Pros are that he's strong conservative, business experience, and supports Tea Party values. There's 87% endorsement and 13% recommend. House District 16, vetting committee proposes to endorse Ted Seago. Pros are that he's strong conservative, Tea Party values, active in Austin, especially for pro-life issues, supports education freedom, supports consumption tax over property tax. That basically concludes our recommendations to the vetting membership. There's going to be a lot more detail on our website that you can drill down to. And again, we're going to have the questionnaire comparisons as well as the videos, and there'll be more information in a wiki-style format. We'll have the landing page that I recommended to you earlier, Ken's site, if you want to write that down. If I can find that. Is research.kvaughan, VAUGHN.com. It's going to be a wiki-style landing page, and all of the races will be there, but the local races, of course, are the ones so far that we've done. We're in the process of doing statewide races too as well. And we're probably about 2/3, 3/4 of the way there. We expect 10 more interviews, I would say, Larry, between now and the time that we wrap it up. Our target is January 12th. We're trying to get all these done so that we can basically get behind these candidates and move forward. So, anyone have any questions? Yes, sir.
What does the voting membership here, what part does that we play? I paid my dues tonight because I'm a Tea Party Democrat. Did I pay my dues? All right.
But it's more than just paying dues. You have to have been.
I know.
Okay.
But you
And
said
Pat
four,
went over that,
but
right?
since this just came into play, I really thought, maybe I misunderstood, that if you paid your dues today, you would be able to participate. Is that not correct?
That's not correct.
Am I able to talk,
Sure. This is an open meeting.
but not vote?
Correct.
Is that right? Because I
At
haven't
this
done
point in
vote?
time, yeah, you have
Give
to.
me my money back. No. I just want to vote against these preachers. No. Okay, so you've got to.
Did you have a question? Did you have a question?
I have a question. What, do you have a membership list where you know who can vote and who can't? And what does the voting do? You said you're going to let, the other Tea Party doesn't have this at all, and I've complained about that. But what does the voting membership do? What part do they play right now?
Well, basically, they
confirm whether or not they accept our decision to go with these. If they say no, the voting membership, then those results would not be released.
so it has to be 60% or more of the voting
Where is the
membership.
membership list? Where is it? And how do you determine who qualified and who didn't? Oh, that's
Check,
it?
yeah, you can check with Pat right
So I'm
there.
not on there?
No,
Not
because you
yet.
didn't meet the rest of the criteria. There's more than just pay.
I understand. I thought raising hell was a good qualification.
That,
That's
no,
not a committee.
and that doesn't even disqualify you either, Walter, believe it or not. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, sir.
I'm new to all this about the whole endorsement and recommending. So, let's say, correct me if I'm wrong, so you're saying if you're endorsing someone, but you're recommending another, but you'll say, yeah, I'm endorsing this person, but I'm recommending this one though. So, I mean, what's the,
No,
what's the difference?
we only do one.
Only
Yeah,
one?
there's only one per race. We were showing the breakdown of the 8 committee members when you look at the pie chart.
So I may have said endorse, and everybody else may have said recommend.
Right.
Recommend carries, and that's what it is.
Dennis, can you pull that up? Yeah. One of the pie charts? Okay, so in this case, in Ted Sego's case, 6 out of 8 of us voted to endorse. The other 2 voted to recommend. Any other questions?
Endorsed is like a higher level of comfort.
Yeah,
Of-
and it's-
of recommendation is, an endorsement is, we get behind this guy a lot longer, a lot more. If that makes sense.
You're gonna give him your class ring.
Yeah.
Lynette?
Okay, so kind of back to what Walter's question is then as we vote, those of us that can vote, then how heavy do you weigh our vote? Like say, I just want to recommend Ted or.
It's a yes or no. You either vote, we're gonna hand out some ballots here in just a minute to the voting membership, and you you vote on each race on whether or not to release that information based on what the vetting committee has decided.
Okay.
So are we as members able to change the numbers on the endorsement?
Well,
Or we just,
if one's not released, I guess that means we'll have to revisit it, or we can't release anything.
Yeah. Yeah, 60% or greater, it's released. If not, it's not, and we can revisit.
Any other questions?
I'd just like to thank you all for doing this. This is not my thing. I think you guys know that. But, so I sure do appreciate, especially during the holidays, that you guys took all this time, that you developed a process that really tried to be fair. And I appreciate all the hard work that not only the candidates for showing up and answering a detailed questionnaire, but to really try and bring transparency to our group and to show that we are trying to bring good conservative values, good conservative people to the county.
Well, we appreciate that, and yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. It's a task that we didn't take lightly. I'm a professional recruiter by trade, and it's never easy telling the person that didn't get the job, you know, that in this case you didn't get our recommendation. We're all very sensitive to that and cognizant of that. We put in, I'd probably say, just in preparing for an interview and a debrief and getting all the information together, I'd say just for the personal interview is probably between 4 and 5 hours a person. I mean, we put in literally hundreds of hours in getting this process through, pushing it through, and developing questionnaires and getting questionnaires out. And Larry did a yeoman's job, especially on sending those questionnaires out, getting them back in, and then setting up the interviews, finding a place, because we really didn't hold any interviews here. We were bouncing between a hotel and an office, and Brian's office, who's was gracious enough to host us on a lot of these races, and then just a lot of background work that was going on behind the scenes, to get the data point, and then also to be able to put it on Wikipedia, which Ken came up with, was nothing short of just fantastic. And then also to be able to compare the answers. I mean, it's not over for these candidates. They're going to get out and campaign, and they're going to try to win. Our recommendations or endorsement are one thing. They're not going to stop. It's just there's a lot of good information out there on each of the candidates, that you can go see, whether we endorse them or recommend them or not. So we found out a lot. We made a lot of good friends, met a lot of good people, and so that makes it tough. That really makes it tough. But we're going to plow on, because we got to go all the way to all the state races and finish this up. And hopefully we kind of set a precedent for other Tea Party groups and conservative groups to take this and run with it. And James is here, or maybe he's not here, but I'll volunteer him. Actually, he has volunteered. He's a SharePoint expert, and I think we might be able to automate this system a lot more than the manual system that we did that caused Larry a lot of angst through this process and a lot of manual going back and forth. So we're hoping to take that next step at some point in the near future. Yeah.
I think some of the things that I learned in this, I've done this several times, but some things that were different, for me were, one, we did it earlier in the election cycle, so, and part of the motivation for that is so that you all could get out and work for candidates, find out about them and find out good candidates to work for. And we did state races, which I traditionally had not done. So I kind of got a broader sense, and there's a lot of good people running state level, so. And we nicknamed him Patton because he was driving us like, I'm like, John, you know, I'd get like 20, 30 emails a day, you know, and I just could barely keep up with it. So yeah, he named Patton, but he did a great job. He made it happen. Good job, John.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I was out in the hall gabbing and yakking with candidates and people, but by going to the Montgomery County Tea Party site, is all this available through
Yes.
links there?
Yes, sir. Most of everything that we went over here is going to be available probably after midnight. I mean, we couldn't
Oh, well,
post
no, that's-
anything up there now, and we're all here, so.
But I mean, the vetting of the candidates,
Yeah.
the
Yes, sir.
interviews, the
Yeah.
questionnaires,
Yes.
that's a tremendous resource for the community. And I run a precinct, and I will be glad to link and tell people in my precinct, go to this site and get that information.
We appreciate that.
And eventually, it'll include not only the pros and cons of the selected candidates, but for every single candidate.
Terrific. I've been aware of the great work that Dale and Brian have done in the past with other sites, and I know how much work it takes. I participated a little bit in some of that, and you do a tremendous service to the community by that, and
Thank you.
I appreciate it a great deal.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anybody else?
I'll tell you thank you
I'd
also.
say too, I'd say thank you very much too.
Thank you.
This is a good service,
Thank you. Thank you, Dorothy.
even if I can't vote.
Okay, so, do you have a list, Kat?
I've already handed down, I've got most of the ballots back, so it's time for you to.
Walter, if we endorse you,
Efficiency
they'll
is my
kill your
name.
election.
Oh, I want, but I'm gonna ask for a screen between me and Boss. It's driving me nuts.
Correct? You got my support.
I'll tell you how much time we put in this. I didn't buy any Christmas presents because I didn't get to go Christmas shopping. That's a real rarity. So there was a lot of time spent. No, because you still have to give something, or you still want to give something. But anyway, the malls didn't see my face. We have one ballot still out.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, do I have everybody? Always one person. Ken is, I don't know if they told you, but Ken is the one that designed a lot of the wiki, well, he did all the wiki pages. These guys they've really worked hard. It's unanimous. Y'all can see them if you want to. There's no names on them, but we will publish everybody's information so they can go online. It's to everyone's advantage to go and to direct voters to your site. They get to see your answers to your questionnaire. They get to see your video. They get to know good about you, and they can make their own decision because they may or may not agree with us. Okay? Now, the 20th is our next meeting. The 20th, we elect new board members. We elect new officers. In order to vote, you have to be a paid member. You gotta have skin in the game. If anybody's interested in running for any of those positions, like, and we do need some, you know, we think we need one board member. We're all open, you know, like, you can vote us all out and get new people. That means you gotta do a lot of work, but we do need some jobs filled. If you're interested in serving, please let one of the board members know. Does everybody know who the board members are here?
No.
All board members stand up. Ginger, John, Larry, Ken, James. Me. Okay. Bob,
for most of you.
yeah, Bob is, Brian, I'm sorry, Brian was already standing up. Tell one of us so that we can keep your name in and we'll know that you're, and Lynette, sorry, you didn't stand.
I did.
Yeah, she is.
She's shorter than me.
This has been one of the hardest jobs, I think, that we have undertaken. Now, the debates were a lot of work, but this was a lot of actual sit-down, read, study, research.
When will this be done for the statewide races?
Well, we're targeting for the 12th.
Well, we won't make the 12th, it's going,
Well, get most of the interviews done
No, I
by
mean for the
then.
membership,
What's that?
for the membership like tonight, for statewide.
20.
The 20th or the 1st of February? Do we know?
I think we're shooting for the next meeting.
Yeah,
For
if
the next
you want to
meeting,
vote the
January
next
20th.
meeting, on the
Yeah,
20th.
January 20th.
Yeah, that is our annual business meeting, so,
Yeah. But we're trying to get all the interviews done by the 12th, if we can, and then do our final push just like we just did.
Lynette?
Anybody that is interested in running for the board at the next meeting, you do have to give like a 2 to 3 minute little introductory speech, letting everyone know who you are, what you'd like to see for the group.
Any questions?
What are the qualifications for running?
For running to be a board, you gotta wanna work.
No, well, that disqualifies some of us, but look, what are the objective qualifications?
Well, you have to believe in the core values, and you have to agree with our mission statement and our core values that are on the website that we've said many times.
Core values.
It's on our website.
God is the supreme being.
Oh, okay, well.
I figured I'd start with that one. That is the most important one.
The minister's the spring, never mind.
You're out, Walter, you're out.
Our next meeting, we will have the business part of it won't take as long as this did, because there won't be any ballots that it probably will just be a lot quicker. We'd love to have you as members. You're always welcome to come and listen to the candidates or to listen to whatever speaker we have without paying dues. But this is just our way of giving you a piece of ownership of what we're doing. And I thank every candidate who is brave enough and energetic enough to put their life out there. I know it's a lot of work for you, and we appreciate that.
Oh, and we will be sending out voter guides closer to the election, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the voter guide will be on the website.
Yeah, and there will be a blast going out tonight to everybody that's already on our email list that confirms everybody that we named tonight, all those races. And that will also go to, everybody that's on that list. Feel free to forward it to whoever. But, candidates, I urge you to send people to the website to see your interviews, to see your answers to your questionnaires, because that's the way they get to know you.
Was the vote tally?
Huh?
Was the vote tally?
Yes. Anyway, I said it was unanimous.
Oh, sorry.
There was only one vote for a non-vote and only on one race.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 2 races. Everybody else voted yes to release them. Well, if there are no questions, that gives you time to meet with the candidates that are present here. I urge you to come back on the 20th. Thank you.